So I'm Brian Wesaala, founder and CEO of the Football Foundation for Africa. I'm an IT professional by training, and that's also the field I worked in for almost 10 years. I studied computer science at the University of Nairobi, but also happened to be a trained accountant, ACCA. I trained at Strathmore University, and that's where I think the FFA story starts, because while studying at Strathmore University, I also represented Strathmore University FC. So I played for Strathmore University FC until 2009, and I was fortunate to move abroad in 2009. Worked for the World Scout Bureau, which is the secretariat for the Scout movement, for a couple of years, and then I joined the UN, where I worked for 6 or 7 years.
Brian, we met at Strathmore Football Club, and we were also neighbors at the neighborhood where we grew. And of course, he's older than I am, and I can say it's through football that made us to click. When he was starting the Football Foundation for Africa, it was in the backdrop of one of our teammates who was a very good footballer. He was a defender, and they were close with Brian. And I remember at the time Brian was still in Europe, and so when the guy passed, it was really difficult, and we needed to be there for each other.
In 2015, January, and this is when I lost a very good friend of mine, somebody we played with football here in Kenya up until I left. So more than just being a teammate, he was a good friend, but he died under very tragic circumstances. He was gunned down in Dar es Salaam, and for me it was kind of a wake-up call, because after trying to understand what happened, why was he gunned down, I realized, or rather I was informed, he had gone into crime. So for me, it changed the way I was looking at life then. One thing I realized, I'm not assured of tomorrow. This could happen to any one of us. But the other thing was also, I started to think back about my experience playing football in Kenya, and I realized these stories of players, footballers being gunned down or arrested because of crime was not something new. It's only that it had happened now very close to me, and at that time I thought, I think I should do something about it, but I didn't know what exactly. And I remember this is when I decided to actually publish my blog, brianwesaala.com, and start to share my thoughts around football and what I thought, how it could be developed, so that it improved the quality of opportunities, especially for young people, for young footballers. And there was very positive response to what I was writing, what I was sharing.
When he started the Football Foundation for Africa, I thought it was a very brilliant move, because it was going to address the challenges and the problems that African footballers are experiencing, even here in Kenya.
I remember now 2016 when I was coming, because I usually visited Nairobi every January for my vacation. This time when I came in 2016, I decided to bring my friends together and to organize a small tournament, 5 teams, and just as a way of getting together and getting to see all of them in one place. But also I wanted to pass to them a message, because by the time Obama, as we used to call him, was dying, most of us had lost touch with him. We did not know he had gone into this lifestyle. So for me was to tell my friends, we need to do this more often. Most of us are no longer playing or we no longer have this Strathmore University FC team, but it will be important for us to maintain those links just to keep tabs on each other.
Obama Cup imekuwa interesting experience in terms of the organizing side. Yeah, I think that's been the more fulfilling journey after playing together with Solo mostly, and then now working on the planning of tournaments. I think that's for me imekuwa experience poor.
In launching the FFA, I remember I stopped working for the UN in June 2018, but as I was doing all this setup, social media channels, the website, I was looking for a co-founder to also help me to think things through. And I had this colleague who was from Botswana, whose son was playing in the Geneva, in the Swiss leagues. He was very good, very talented footballer. The mother was working for the UN, but he was playing with, he was on a professional path, if I can say he was that good. And the mother was very supportive, I could see this. So us being friends, colleagues within the UN, I just approached her with the idea, like I'm setting this up, and I would like you to join in some way as a co-founder. And we had a meeting, discussed. I told her how I had started with the tournament, and then she told me, I've been thinking of doing a tournament in my village, and I didn't know how to go about it. I told her that's perfect. I think I can take the concept of Obama Cup, tackling unemployment through sport, and we can go and do it in Botswana. So that's how in August 2018 I found myself in Moroka village, Botswana, organizing the first FFA Cup. I also took it as an opportunity just to launch the FFA there, because I felt I wanted to set up a very Pan-African organization.
In 2018, when it came to set up the foundation, the FFA, I went to his place just to ask him about the objectives, his goals, with what he wants to achieve with the foundation. And he told me, he took me through everything he wanted, and I was interested, so I asked him, how could I help him achieve his objectives? How could I be part of it? And yeah, from that moment on, we've been working closely together up until now.
My ultimate goal, when I was setting up the Football Foundation for Africa, it was about how do we better resource grassroots football. So for me, it's always about grassroots, but strategies, these things evolve with time, as I've come to realize with setting up an organization. And first 2 or 3 years, a lot has changed, and I find myself thinking, I want to set up an organization, or my future ambition is to have an organization that is Pan-African but globally recognized sports institution. So at the level of CAF, at the level of FIFA, that's where I envision seeing FFA and having a real impact in terms of development of football. But even beyond that, for me, my passion, as I've come to realize, is more about the youths of Africa and the quality of opportunities that they can access.
Target yangu kama coach, nimejipea 5 years with these kids. So mtoi mwenye ako maybe 13, 14 years. From now, atakuwa maybe around 18. So by the time afikishe 18, with all the connections zenye ziko around, the support ile tuna expect itoke maybe from FFA ni kutuweza kuassist with the entire system yenye tuweze kukua kama the Kariobangi South Soccer Academy. Watoi wetu waweze kupata the opportunity to play in a bigger teams also in Europe, or even to get a chance to go for various trials in big teams in Europe. So hiyo ndio kama end goal yetu yenye inaleta the partnership between the two of us.
So with FFA, it's tailor-made to address the loopholes that come with that. So that even if you're a good footballer, there are some other things that need to be put into place so that even if you do not succeed through football, you can still continue with life outside football as an active or a professional footballer, or somebody who can make a career outside of playing football in the field?
Well, I can only say it has been highs because, like I said, it's only been a learning process because my knowledge of football was only based on the pitch side. But now coming on board to learn about the business side, learning what all that entails, how to run an organization, a club. Yeah, it's been interesting, and I still keep on learning. Yeah, so it's only upwards from here.
Since 2018, having set up the organization in 2018, I must say that the success was almost, or the achievements were almost immediate. You know, just taking that random decision to say I can go to Botswana and do a tournament, for me was a big achievement. And in 2019, having come back to Nairobi, Kenya, in March 2019, in September of the same year, I was invited to Moscow, Russia, for the Football Heroes Award, and actually won an award on Social Responsibility Award at the event was organized by the International Football Development Association. Within 1 year of setting up the FFA, we were already getting international recognition, and it was because of the tournament that I had organized in Botswana. Something that I find a bit disturbing or discouraging is losing friends along the way. Not that they died, but people who look at what you're doing and seeing how they could take advantage of the same. So they come, they realize, okay, there's no money here, probably they run away with your ideas and they go and implement them, and that can really be discouraging, and I've faced that 2 times, and it really puts you down, especially when it's people you thought would be your support, like your closest, if you could say, friends then. So that has happened twice. It's discouraging, but when I think about the long-term vision and how far we have come with the FFA, then I usually say those are just speed bumps along the way, and we move.